And then we began getting responses and feedback from people asking, well, how can I help my kids? Because parents were picking up on what now we can empirically prove, and that is this is the most anxiety-ridden generation. Uh, well, since anxiety's been measured. One
Hmm.
statistic just came out about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It said that 91% of people born since 1996, 91% are dealing with some level of depression. That's just a
Wow.
staggering statistic. I still can't get my mind around that. But it's just it's a tough time to be a young person.
Now, fear and anxiety, I feel like they're always bundled together, but they're actually not the same, are they? What's the difference between anxiety and fear?
Yeah, and you're right. It is a bit, we choose the term that we want. It seems to me that a good working term is anxiety is fear on steroids, or fear that just won't go away. Fear is the alarm system that tells us there's an intruder. Anxiety is alarm system that never goes off. It's just living in a state of edge. And it's often manifests itself in a person who the big word is catastrophize.
Hmm.
They're assuming something bad is going to happen. A person who really struggles with sleep or resting. A person who has trouble trusting that a person truly believes in them or cares about them. A person who is usually negative or seeing the glass as half full. These are just a few of the characteristics, especially of young people who are wrestling with this emotion. And I would encourage parents to remember it is just that. It's just an emotion. It's an emotion. It's not a sin. It's not a sickness. It's not something that can't be helped. Sometimes it requires counseling. Sometimes anxiety will require some type of pharmaceutical assistance. That doesn't mean that you or your child is a second-rate citizen.
Hmm.
It's just the world we live in. So if that's you, please don't beat yourself up. Whether or not that's you, all of us could benefit from a good helping, a dose of Philippians 4. Philippians 4, that passage, be anxious for nothing, is the most underlined verse in the whole Bible. And
So
and
good.
and and we know that, because now the electronic tools can tell us what's being underlined. And so I think the whole world is looking for some help in this area of anxiety.
Wow. Can you explain the acronym in the book CALM, C-A-L-M?
Yeah, I'm a preacher, and so I always try to find some way to help us remember things. And so years ago, I came up with this acronym from based on Philippians 4:4 through 8. Number one is C, or C. The first letter is C, or celebrate God. The Apostle Paul says, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. What he's saying there is make a big deal out of God. When you're in the midst of your struggles, rather than make a big deal out of your struggles, lift up your eyes, make a big deal out of God. A is ask. Ask God for help. That well known scripture, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So rather than give in to prayer, to despair, choose prayer. Be quick to pray. Be quick to pray. And then L, leave your concerns with God. So we celebrate God, we ask for help. Then L, we leave our concerns with Him. And this is suggested in that little phrase, with thanksgiving, when the Apostle Paul says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving. So you see, the thankful heart and the anxious heart are never the same. When
Hmm.
gratitude comes in, anxiety goes out. And so treat your prayers, your concerns with prayers and then gratitude. And then lastly, the M is meditate. Meditate on good things. And there the apostle gives us that list. I think it's of 9 different things to meditate on. Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is good. Meditate on these things. In other words, don't focus so much on the things that are destructive and negative. Focus on the things that are good. I think here's where parents can really help their kids. They need to help their kids understand that just because they have a thought, they don't have to think it. These thoughts come in our world, but we don't have to invite them in. And also here's where it gets in, the dirty of managing what our kids watch, managing how much time they spend on their phones, managing how much time they spend watching certain movies. We adults need that as well, but especially young people whose minds are still being shaped and whose opinions are still being shaped. Parents, we have to get involved in this part of our children's lives as well.